Alright, now we're going to learn how to program in PHP and also later on SQL. In order to do this, what we need to do is we need to have a web server and we need to have a database server. And so we can install those on our computer quickly by using a tool called XAMPP. That's XAMPP. So if I type in XAMPP in a search engine, probably the first thing that's going to pop up is ApacheFriends.org. They're the ones that create XAMPP, and I can see that there's a download choice here. If I just go to the main page though, I can see that I've got download choices for XAMPP for Windows, XAMPP for Linux, and XAMPP for the Macintosh OS X. And so it'll run on any platform. I just so happen to have XAMPP for, I'm running Windows, so I'll choose that one. And I can just, let me see here, it starts to download automatically. I'm going to go ahead and pause while it's downloading. Okay, I finished downloading it and it's now in my download folder, and I've got a .exe file here, which is the XAMPP Win32 blah 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 .installation.exe. So go ahead and double click on that, and that should start my installation. Okay, it says welcome to XAMPP Setup Wizard. So I just hit next. I can choose what I want to set up, and what we want is we want Apache, we want MySQL, we can live without the mail server, and we can live without FileZilla FTP server. We can also live without Tomcat. Tomcat is a web server that's used in conjunction with the Java language. We don't need Perl, but we want to leave the PHP because we're going to be using that. We want to keep PHP myadmin, and we can keep the Webalizer and the fake send mail. Alright, so I'll go ahead and install this. Hit next. The default folder is C XAMPP, that's fine. Looks like I've already installed it here, so I'm going to go and uninstall it, and I'll be right back. I'm going to pause the video. Okay, so now I had one thing in that folder, so I deleted it, and now it's get ready to install. Setup is now ready to begin installing XAMPP. So you got a web page that popped up. Setup is now ready to begin installing XAMPP, but hit next. Okay, so when we get done installing this, it'll put a web server on our computer called Apache. That Apache will be enabled to handle PHP script, which we'll start using. And it'll also have a database called MySQL, which we can start working with. It'll have a utility called PHP myadmin, which will allow us to control our MySQL database. See, it's unpacking files. I'm going to go ahead and pause it here. Okay, it's finished installing, and now I get this page. Setup has finished installing XAMPP on your computer. Do you want to start the control panel now? And it's checked. I'm going to leave that checked because I want to start the control panel. I'll hit finish. And now my control panel here pops up, and I can see that I've got two services, Apache and MySQL, and they've got red X's next to them. That means that they're not started. I can test to see that they're not working by going to my web browser and just typing in localhost. That translates to my own IP address. It'll check to see if I have a web server, and it says this web page is not available. That means that my web server is not working yet. Now I'm going to go ahead and start the Apache web server. So I'll click Start here. And then I'm going to go ahead and start MySQL, although we don't need it right now. I'll go ahead and start it. Alright, now it looks like it's running. So I'm going to go ahead back to my browser. I've already typed in localhost. I'm going to refresh the page. And bang, I get some content. This is actually coming from my computer. And it shows that XAMPP is installed. I can choose English here, and I get the XAMPP welcome page. Okay, so now I'm ready to do a Hello World PHP script on my XAMPP installation.